most people think that awareness building is the most important end of their purchase journey funnel. And they're sort of right, but they're mostly wrong. And frankly, they're paying too much for it. Good morning, everybody. Today, Ruby and myself are talking about the impacts of what we see as the over-indexing on the awareness phase of the purchase journey process. So the purchase journey breaks down very loosely as awareness, evaluation, consideration, conversion, and retention. Challenge is that is not a linear path. That is not a one-size-fits-all. That is not a model that you can say this is how it works all the time, every time. And so what people default to is, how do I use marketing and sales to build my awareness for my customers, we'll go there in a second, as quickly and as most efficiently as possible. And face value, that's not a bad plan. The challenge is that you're probably paying too much for it. And bottom line is it's probably not effective. Sorry. So thinking as a customer makes this way easier, because what you can do is evaluate how that awareness gets done. So awareness from your perspective and awareness from your customer's perspective could be two very different things. So awareness from your perspective is, hey, they know my name. My name is now out there. Amazing. Maybe not. The other piece of that puzzle is, what is it that we have to do to make sure that awareness turns into consideration and evaluation? So there's the issue. So a lot of companies are spending a lot of time, a lot of money with their sales teams doing all of that awareness building. Every time they pick up the phone, every time they send an email, that's what they consider awareness building. And that is an absolute unmitigated disaster. Let's start there. And so if you are doing some marketing, whether that's even just operating on LinkedIn or whatever, Facebook, whatever, that unto itself is supposed to be awareness building, except you're probably not doing that right either. So this is a bad news scenario so far. It's not really that bad. However, functionally, what do we have to do to ensure that we are spending an appropriate amount of money on awareness? Because that's important. Awareness you can't buy from somebody you don't know. So it's using all the tools in the toolbox to make sure that awareness is coming in at a price point that we can materially afford, knowing that the purchase journey for that customer, they're going to come in and out of market. They're going to be a high intent, low intent buyer until their conversion happens. What can we do beyond awareness to get them to be thinking about us more often? And this is where creating demand becomes much more practical. So if you are creating demand for your market, for your customer base, it's now figuring out who should be aware. It is not everyone should be aware. There are those people for whom you have the most value, the biggest impact. Those are the people who should be aware. And so what are we going to do to make sure that that happens? So the fit and the targeting becomes extremely important. Not anybody with a heartbeat and breath in their lungs. Very important. Second piece is moving them from awareness to evaluation consideration. How are we generating interest? Are we helping them become high intent buyers? Are we giving them something of value for their time? Are we giving them something to consider in general? More than we're $7 and they're $10, but we're better because useless. What is it that we're doing to help them evaluate the process to make a decision? How do they make a decision? So if we can spend more investment, not necessarily tearing off the investment from awareness perspective, we have to invest something. But if we can turn some of that investment into consideration and evaluation, suddenly our process to get somebody to become not only aware of us, but interested and highly intent to buy something goes way up. But at what cost? So if we're putting all of our chips into the awareness pile, holy crap, it's really hard for us to spend anything else on evaluation and consideration, which leads to conversion, because we've already tried to play the brand awareness model, or amplify content on LinkedIn. Like, all of these are good things in the right measure. So thinking about that is really, really important. So for today, Ruby says it's definitely important to have the awareness, but that's not the only game in town. You got to figure out how people are evaluating and considering you beyond that to get to conversion. That's an important piece of investment you have to think about as well. All right, enough for today. Walking and talking with Ruby.